Why is that comma there? A lot of people would say that comma is there because this is an introductory clause. Or they say it's an introductory phrase. It's a clause, but people get confused on that. They would probably just say it's an introductory element. They have a big lesson on it. Commas and introductory phrases and clauses. I think this is a dumb rule. It's not powerful enough. You can absorb this rule into other rules if you just have a better rule. You could probably reduce the amount of comma rules that exist if you get rid of this rule. You could probably reduce the amount of comma rules that exist down to maybe 3 if you're just clear on your explanation. So I'm going to attempt to be clear on my explanation here. So why the comma? Let's go to something you need first. What is the natural order of a sentence? Well, the natural order of a sentence is for the subject to come first, then there's the verb, and then you have junk. And now you say, junk? I've never heard about junk before. Well, that's because I don't feel like saying direct object, indirect object, prepositional phrase, dependent clause, subordinating conjunction. I don't feel like saying all the terms. You know the structure of a sentence. You know how to form sentences since you've been little. Maybe 3 years old, you've been really fluent in very complex sentences. So all I need to do is tap into what you already know. So we're just going to use a catch-all term, junk in the trunk, and that'll be the term for everything that comes after the verb. So subject, verb, then junk. So here's this sentence. Because I needed Doritos, the boy ran to the store. This is the subject of the sentence. Now, why is the subject of the sentence not at the start? Well, that's because this sentence is out of its natural order. So let's put the sentence in its natural order. The boy ran to the store because he needed Doritos. Now what you're going to see is that there's no need for a comma because everything's in its natural order. There is no need for punctuation when stuff is in its natural order. I mean, you could keep going. The boy ran to the store because he needed Doritos for energy during his clan war that starts at 8 today, period. You don't need anything inside here because everything's in its natural order. And you understand the natural order of things. You understand how to put these junk phrases back to back to back and sort them out. You understand that if you did this, you know deep down, you've known since you were really little, that this would be ridiculous. So we just need to tap in to your understanding of natural order, and then that will give you the reason why there was a comma in that original sentence. So, this is the natural order. Everything is in its natural position. Here's a rule for punctuation. This is the rule that you need to remember, and it will take care of all sorts of other comma rules. You'll get rid of a lot of fussy little comma rules. So here's the rule. You must punctuate whenever something is out of its natural position. So everything right now is in its natural position. So let's make something that's not. Let's move something. So we'll move it. Because he needed Doritos, the boy ran to the store. Why the comma? Not because it's an introductory phrase or clause. That comma's there because this thing is out of its natural position. It's in fact been flipped out of its natural position. Now, why do I call it a core junk flip? Well, I call the subject and the verb of a sentence, I call that the core. And everything after that is junk. So this is all core junk back here. And so this core junk has been flipped to the front. So, why the comma? Well, you could say it's core junk flip. It's comma for a core junk flip. Or you could say exactly what it means, what core junk flip means. It means that this thing has been moved out of its natural position. So you have to punctuate. You must punctuate whenever something is out of its natural position. So we can do that with this. We can put that back in its natural position and move this out. To the store, the boy ran because he needed Doritos. And that's I think a much easier explanation. But I want to show you there's more to it. It's not just when it's before the subject and the verb. You could also take this stuff in its natural position back here, and you've got your subject and your verb. You could put it in between the subject and the verb, which is not the way it's naturally supposed to go. This naturally goes behind store, and it is the boy, because he needed Doritos, ran to the store. And you got both of these commas are because you have to punctuate whenever something is out of its natural position. This thing needs to be surrounded by commas. You could do that with this, but it's kind of gross. Anyway, we'll use a different example. This one doesn't look like your traditional thing. So the boy comes back from the store and he's got a bag of stuff, and his dad says, "So where are the Doritos?" And he says, "I didn't." Now, I as a subject, did not get, not as an adverb, but did get is your full verb. So I didn't get, and then there's the junk, the Doritos. Now you could call that whatever object you want to call that, but this is actually really hard to identify for students that are used to there being a preposition or some word like that, but let's ignore that. Let's just say this is junk. We all know how to do it. And the boy could have just said to his dad in a fancier way, a cleverer way, maybe a way that has more meaning, "The Doritos, comma, I didn't get." This is the natural position for it, but I flipped it from the back end. It's supposed to be where the junk goes, but it's been flipped. The Doritos, I didn't get. Period. Alright, so here's what I want you to try. I want you to try creating your own. I'm going to give you the start to the sentence. The Cavs will win the NBA title because. So what you're going to need right now is a piece of paper, something to write with. If you're not good at tearing stuff, scissors. So press pause on the video and go get those things. And I want you to cut out a piece of paper like this and write, "The Cavs will win the NBA title," and then because, and then I want you to finish out that phrase. Don't put a period or any capital letters because you're going to move stuff around. Don't put any commas. There's no commas when stuff is in its natural order. So press pause and get that stuff. Okay, I'm back. And you're back. So you've got this stuff here. I want you to do something. I want you to cut the subject. Cut between "will win" and the NBA title. And then you've got your "because" phrase. And I want you to experiment with things. Move stuff out of move the junk out of the natural position where junk goes. So try this. The NBA title, the Cavs will win because whatever you said. Because LeBron is better than every player on Golden State's team. Period. But I'm forgetting something. This needs to be a comma. Why? Because this is out of its natural position. You can move your "because" phrase, because LeBron is better than every player on the Golden State team, comma, the Cavs will win the NBA title, period. Why the comma? Because this is out of its natural position. And that's how it works. This is core junk that's been flipped to the front. So remember, you must punctuate whenever something is out of its natural position. Or, as I like to say in my classes, whenever something is out of its natural position, comma, you must punctuate. Period.